Hey guys, I'm back with project number 2, shadows. Can you see shadows? This is a chest that I use for a coffee table that I bought a long time ago, and it does not match the floors I just got at all. So I was inspired to repurpose it to match what it is I had going on here now in my living room. It was an expensive chest. So I didn't want to ruin it, but it's totally different than it originally looked. So this is how it originally looked. All right, so it's basic wood, sort of distressed looking, little shabby chic-ish, not with white painting. So what I did was I decided I was going to put frames around each side and create little, like 6 frames on one side, 2 on the ends. And then inside those frames, I was going to, or I am going to, upholster material and put it in there to give it some sort of softness and relief. So the first thing I had to do was, and I already did this, so I'm just gonna kind of show you what I did. First thing I had to do was create the frames on the outside of the chest, all right? So I went to the local hardware store. Mine is Anawalt. I love Anawalt because they cut all your wood for you. They don't do that at Home Depot or Lowe's, or if they do, they complain about it. Anyways, your basic wood, and I had them cut. First I measured, of course, and then I measured again, and then I measured a third time. Measured 3 times. Okay, so I had them cut 2 pieces for along the top, and then short pieces to go in between to create all the little holes for my material. So there it is. I painted it as well. You can see, did I paint it yet? No, that's just the frame. Let me look at it. Oh yeah, that's just the frame. So then I did the ends as well. And once I finished all that and glued it into place and then screwed it in, I painted it. And I decided to go with a color that was gonna match my floors. I have light gray floors now. So I did a light gray on the bottom and a dark gray on the top. And there it is. You see it right there? It actually looks really good. I really like the way it turned out. The top part, I was gonna do it all one color, but I think it's kind of cool to accent with a little darker color on the top to really separate the two and make it pop. And then on the top, when I was finished with that, when I was finished painting that, I sealed it with a sealant, a water-based sealant. I just did like 3 coats of that on the top. Waited for it to dry and then did it again. Looks really good. I forgot one thing. So on the sides, or the back, it really is the front because it's what you see when you walk in the door. And that is really the back side of the chest because you open it from the other side. No one cares. No one cares about that. What I did was to add a little extra flair, since it didn't really match up on the edges, I put some like crown molding. I picked some crown molding and had them cut some of these small pieces, and I fitted it on both sides of that back part to give it a little bit more relief. That's what they call it in the art world, relief. Because it's like a 3D added effect to a piece of art. That's what I'm gonna call it, a piece of art. There's a little bit of a problem though. So here's the panels that I cut out. These are the cardboard backing for the material that I'm going to sort of stuff and put in the frames that I made for, as you already saw, for the chest. The problem is, the fabric arrived in this, it's pretty good. It's kind of what I expected. It's the right color and it's denim, which is great, nice durable material. But the foam padding that I was gonna put in between to give it a little relief is a little thicker than I thought it was gonna be. So I think when I cut out my panels here, I'm gonna have to like cut them in half again or really mush them down. So this could be challenging. But that's the idea. I'm gonna cut out the foam to match the panels that I cut out, and then over that I'm going to put the fabric, and then that I'm going to glue into the frames inside the chest. Let's see if this works. I want there to be some sort of consistency with the fabric panels, so I'm going to use a couple of the borders here to maintain my lines. This is gonna be good. It's gonna look great. I have a cut here, and I have a cut here, and I have a cut under here. All my panels are cut. See that? Perfect. And now, I'm gonna try and cut the foam. I'm not feeling particularly confident about this. All right, let's see if that works. It's just too thick. This just might work. And by just, I'm meaning it's not. I got an X-Acto knife now, a box cutter, and a better box cutter. X-Acto knife, fail. Ooh, the Milwaukee box cutter is working better. This is a little more labor intensive than I was expecting it to be. All right, that's better. So basically the idea now is to put the foam on top of the cardboard backing and then wrap the material around it like you're upholstering a bed. A bed. Basically, I'm upholstering this like I would wrap a present. See, so I folded it in on the sides and then tucked it over, and I'm taping it with very strong gaffer tape. And you're not gonna see this. It doesn't matter if it's kind of buckled in the ends, because this is gonna get shoved inside those frames and then glued in there. We'll see if that works. I think it's gonna work. I have got 2 of my panels done. Look at that. It's beautiful. And those are gonna fit right in those frames that I made, and it's gonna look really good. But I think I should have them facing the same way. I'm sorry for the noise, that's the air conditioner, because it's getting really hot in here. And I can't stand it trying to unroll tape when my palms are sweaty. Here I am in front of what is almost a completed project. So you see the gray here and then dark gray on the top. And this is, I don't know if you can see this in the camera, this is the texturizing I did with the help of this wood. It's called plastic wood, and it comes in a tube that looks like toothpaste. And it comes out brown and kind of sandy looking. And I squeezed it out and then rubbed it around with like a knife and pushed it around with my fingers until it dried. And then I sanded it down a little bit so it had a little bit more of a natural or smoother look. And then I painted over it with the gray. Doesn't that look good? So the one thing I forgot to mention is then I also added some other hardware. This. I got these at just a regular old hardware store, and it's decorative cast iron. Something you would put on like a doorway or a cupboard or something. You want to give it a little rustic look. So I just had them coming from both sides here and then over on the other side as well, just to add a little accent. Now, you see all my panels are done. These are all the upholstered panels that I just did. And they're all finished. They turned out really good. There's a little tape on this side, and hopefully they'll all stay together. And granted, I probably did it wrong. I'm sure a lot of you will say, why did you do it like that? You're not supposed to use tape. You know, use gaff tape on material. I mean, if you know what you're doing, you could probably sew these together. I'm not gonna sew it. I don't know how to sew. This is the idea. These are gonna go right in here. So basically, all I'm gonna do is use a little wood glue. All right, and this is probably stuck. I haven't tried to open this today. There's always like goop in the top. I don't care how good of a packaging it is, how good a packaging they have it. It always gets coagulated at the top. And you gotta use a knife or a needle or something to get it out. My Gorilla Glue that I have a full thing of it, and it's totally glued shut. I don't like that. Oh man, did I just get glue everywhere? And again, I'm gonna use wood glue, and it's probably the wrong kind of glue. I don't care. I don't care what you say, I'm using it. All right? and I'm very generous with the glue. So there it is. So this is gonna go right in here. All right, and hold that into place for a little bit, and that is going to look good. So eventually it'll stick in there, and hopefully with the glue, that'll keep the material from coming apart as well. I don't know, who knows? A week from now or a month from now, this whole thing may fall apart. I don't know. So I'm gonna do that with all of these and stick them in here so that eventually it's gonna look like that, like it's all done, once I glue them all in. I'm not gonna make you sit through me gluing all these in, all right? But I do want you to know a couple of these different options that you have. So with all the stuff that you have here, I originally thought, oh, I'll put tile in there. I'll get cut tile, that'll fit in there. That would look nice. Any sort of like backsplash you would use in your kitchen might look nice in there. You could put stencils in there and paint over those, or just paint it, or do whatever you want. And even with the border on this side, you don't have to use wood. You could use tile. You could tile the whole side if you want. There's so many different options you can do to gussy up an old chest like this. But the idea that I did here was to add a little relief, give it some 3D effect, and also add a little softness with the material. I couldn't be more excited as to how this turned out. It even exceeded my expectations. And I think it's kind of cool. It's very different, and it's something you might want to try. See that? So they got all the little tufts kind of sticking out in between the frame. And there it is, you guys. Pretty cool, huh? Again, do your own thing. Decorate it the way you want to, but that is my chest, my repurposed chest. It's a coffee table. It's not a chest. All right, now I'm gonna do the same thing over again, only shirtless. There it is, you guys. The finished product. This is not a comfortable coffee table to sit on like this. But we won't do for a couple likes.